Yes, it is. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining this Zoom call. I highly appreciate it. Tonight we're going to go through a couple of charts. We're going to go through a couple of price predictions on BTC, potential bottoms, potential tops, as well as I'm going to try and go through maybe a strategy or two, quite briefly, not in too much depth. I know some of the guys on this call have not done the course as yet. So it's more than likely going to fly over their head. However, I'm going to record it once you guys do go back and potentially do the course. This will make so much more sense to you. So first and foremost, guys, I just want to go through two things. Let me just put that up there and share my screen. Can you guys see the DTA pamphlet or not yet? Is this thing not working with me now? Cool. Thanks, Rudwan. Well, guys, as you can see here, I've designed a crypto training course, which takes you pretty much from the beginning, introducing what is cryptocurrency, what is it used for, what is the advantage, what is the disadvantages, and right through to investing, trading, and potentially making this your primary source of income. So how we used to do this course, it was a lot more expensive. It was $2,950. I think there's Mandy and Amara did this course when it was quite more expensive. However, it has been reduced purely based upon that the content and the modules that I've pre-recorded, it's no more live. Excuse me, guys, it's no more live. So it's all pre-recorded lessons. However, you do get all the info and content as if you did it live with me. It comes with an ebook. All right, so I've designed a bit of a textbook, which takes you, like I said, from the beginning to the end of cryptocurrency. There'll be weekly Zoom calls, which is going to be on a Wednesday at 7 p.m. So if you do buy this course, okay, you're watching the videos every week on a Wednesday, 7 p.m. If you have any questions, obviously going through the course content in your own time, you can jump onto the Zoom call, ask whatever questions you might have. And also we have the DTA support group, which is on WhatsApp. So any questions, please feel free to dump them on there, and me or Ridwan or potentially Josh will get back to you in a timely manner. Also, one thing to realize, guys, this is a lifetime membership. So once you make that payment of 980 Rand, you'll have a membership to the website, to the content, and also you can download this ebook. So you'll always have that. Next thing I wanted to chat about before we get going is, give me 1 second, guys. Apologies, I thought I had it open. I'm sure I did. All right, it's not that one. My apologies. Over there, like I was chatting to Mandy a minute ago, we've also created a Discord group. This is for people who obviously want to take their trading career to the next level. Potentially, if you want to make it your primary source of income within maybe 6 to 12 months. I mean, I did that. However, it's 750 Rand a month, or approximately $50. Okay, this is going to have regular trading opportunities, live charting and coin forecasts, live and pre-recorded tutorials, a live trading scalp. So it's going to have a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of info. And also I'm going to start incorporating my live trading, okay, in this. So you guys can see how I enter a coin, why did I enter, what did I look at, why did I execute the particular trade, and when did I take profit. So I think this is obviously something not for everybody. However, if you want to take it to the next level, it's definitely something you can consider going forward. But I do recommend, guys, please do the DTA training course first, because if you join the Discord group without doing the DTA training, I mean, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the terminology that I'm going to be throwing around is just going to potentially confuse you even more. Cool. So let's just get to the juicy stuff. I know everyone's wondering what is going on with Bitcoin at the moment. This shape over here, guys, this is called an ascending wedge. Let me just highlight what I'm referring to. So you can see the price busy bouncing around these two lines. All right, that is called an ascending wedge. Okay, by nature, okay, that is a bearish indication. So in other words, when we see price action in any commodity or any asset, okay, create an ascending wedge, it usually, okay, the price usually breaks down. Okay, not all the time, but it's more than likely going to break down. So if we're looking at Bitcoin now on the daily, we can even zoom out to the 3-day, and we can see that very nice ascending wedge. However, as we broke down, okay, we quickly found support. All right, and now it seems like we're pushing up. But guys, just be careful. Obviously, I want Bitcoin to go up. We all want Bitcoin to go up, unless you have not bought in yet. But I'm sure most of us have bought in. You can see we've broken out of this wedge. You see this line running across here. At this point, the price has broken down, okay, found some support, and now we've pushed up, okay. However, usually what happens, guys, and this is why I said we must all just be careful, that the price usually breaks down, finds some sort of support, pushes up, and it normally hits the bottom side of this line and gets rejected. Okay, that's what normally happens. So we just need to keep an eye on BTC, or which is Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's definitely going to drop, guys. It looks like we got a lot of fundamental support. When I say fundamental support, there's a lot of news and speculation behind BTC. We've got Visa, which is approving crypto, MasterCard, Elon Musk, Tesla. This whole wave of institutional money coming into the crypto market. So we more than likely are going to break up and go slightly higher, that I do believe, but we cannot rule out that BTC will get rejected and fall down. And trust me, guys, if it gets rejected hard, we can see Bitcoin fall very, very quickly. I mean, you can wake up one morning and your Bitcoin portfolio can be down 40–50%. It's happened before, it can happen again. However, the likelihood of that is not necessarily too high, but because of the technical analysis, it is kind of pointing at this moment that it potentially can break down. Before I move on to anything else, guys, any question when in and around Bitcoin price, what is it doing, what I feel about it, anything from there, guys, please feel free to ask any questions. This is the point of this call, question and answers, and just getting the new guys a better understanding of what we do in the crypto world.
Sorry, how far? I can't see the candle there, and I don't know what you're on 4 hours. How far are we potentially from hitting that bottom line to see whether we're gonna go through or get rejected?
Okay, so if I go to the 4-hour candles, all right. Let me just zoom in here and let me just take some of these lines away. Sorry, man. These lines, these horizontal lines, this is the ones that I use to actually trade, enter and exit BTC on a daily basis. Okay, so what we're looking at over here, okay, you can see this is obviously a lot more zoomed in, okay. The price has broken. Let me actually change this color. I think it will make it easier to differentiate between the two. Wait, no, I didn't go white. There we go. Okay, so you see now the price has broken this white line that's running across the screen here. It's broken. We came down to this green line. All right. You can see the price came down. It kind of got supported. We didn't fall any lower. And then we started going back up. So what usually happens out of an ascending wedge is the price will fall, break the ascending wedge, find some sort of support, and then start working its way up. And usually when it gets to the bottom side, okay, of the white line, which is the bottom side of the ascending wedge, it usually gets rejected and gets pushed down fairly hard and quickly. And if that happens, okay, and we go lower than this last green line over there, then that's very bearish, or I wouldn't say bad, I'd say bearish for BTC or Bitcoin. Guys, for those who don't understand what bullish and bearish means, Bearish means that the price is coming down or seems like the price is going to come down. And bullish is when the price is going up or when we feel that the price is potentially going to go up. So if we get rejected and we fall below this green line over there, which is approximately the $51,000 mark, we potentially can start a bit of a downtrend whereby the price can fall anywhere to $30,000, $25,000, $20,000. Okay, and that's not a bad thing, guys. I welcome bear markets. I like it when the price of Bitcoin falls because I hold Bitcoin for a very, very long time. The lower it falls, the more I can accumulate. So I see that as an opportunity. Yes, sir. Yes.
I might be wrong from my side, but
go ahead.
If I'm understanding the question, I think it was Archie that asked, right?
Yes.
I don't know if he meant to ask what is the estimate in, say, days, because initially you were looking at the daily chart. What is the estimate? Say this plays out, theoretically as we expect. How many days, from the looks of it, would we expect before it actually reaches that bottom line of the wedge?
Somewhere over there. You mean the retest?
Yeah.
It can be any time. I mean, we've been threatening to touch it for the last 3-4 days, and I mean, we just need to. I mean, BTC needs to move another $1,500 potentially, and which can literally happen in an hour, or it can take us a week. I mean, when it comes to predicting price and estimates, time estimates, it's very, very tricky. However, because it's only $1,500, I mean, this can happen at any time. It can happen tonight while we're sleeping. And all depending on what happens when it touches that the white line from the bottom side, it all depends. If the bears or the sellers are strong enough to hold off the buyers and push them down, that's not a good sign for Bitcoin in the immediate short term. However, if we manage to break this white line, go above, retest it on the inside and push off, that's fantastic, because then our next target, or our next point of resistance, would be the top of the wedge. Does that make sense, guys? I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. And if that does happen, that will approximately be around the $80,000 mark for BTC. And I do expect a lot of resistance around that zone. So it all depends what happens here, guys, within the next, let's call it in the next 2 to 4 days, approximately.
So I just wanted to point something out, and obviously I want everybody's opinion on this.
Of course.
That psychological 60K mark, it seemed to be like a pretty strong point of resistance in terms of price. Because remember, when we actually broke through that 60K, the volume we received to push beyond that within a matter of hours. Now, looking at this chart as it stands, if we head up for the next day or two, we could potentially be, we are basically hovering around that 60K mark.
Yeah.
So would you say that has any bearing or any influence on what could potentially happen should we actually reach the bottom of that wedge?
So are you trying to ask what will happen if we hit the bottom of the wedge and it will also hit the psychological 60K resistance zone?
Yeah, because it seems to line up, well, not exactly, of course, but it's pretty much at that level and at a strong point of, it's at a strong point of resistance, as well as at the bottom of that particular wedge. And from the course, I know it's something that you also stressed, is that if we find that two particular indicators or technical analysis happens to coincide, then it's definitely a strong indication of like price reversal. So at this point in time, would you say you're more hopeful for the price of Bitcoin going up, or from technical analysis? I know to you it doesn't obviously care because it doesn't matter because you trade the market both ways either way. But given those two indications over there, the bottom of the wedge and that psychological 60K, does that in any way influence the decision that you'd make, or would you still be waiting for it? For example, say it pushes beyond that, would you still be waiting for that volume push before you confirm that we've actually broken that 60K resistance point?
Yes, 100%. So if I just want to do this just to simplify it. So guys, assuming this green line is the 60K zone, all right? This represents 60K. Bitcoin's doing this at the moment. It comes up, it hits the 60K or maybe breaks slightly below and gets rejected very hard. Okay. Then we come back for the second time, we hit the 60K, gets rejected very hard. Okay. And at this moment, we're coming for the third time. So let me give a stupid analogy, but if you keep on knocking on a door, it's more than likely going to open the more you knock. So we're knocking on the 60K zone. We're knocking on the 60K zone. We're coming for the third time, all right? I have seen triple tops before we get rejected. It has happened. It does happen. But I think because we're in the bull market, the sentiment is still good. We've got all this institutional money, billions and billions of dollars floating into BTC, that I think we potentially we're gonna break. So if we do break, okay, and I want to enter a long-term trade, especially if I'm longing the market, I'm not going to enter as we break 60. I'm going to wait for some sort of retest where the price comes back to this green line. Remember, guys, the green line is representing $60,000. The price needs to come back to the 60, prove to me that we are finding support at that zone and not just falling back through like the previous two times. And as we start pushing up, I'll feel a heck of a lot confident entering a long position, or maybe even taking, because I've got a lot of USDT and USDC, which is stable coins, which is linked to the dollar. And I won't mind buying in more Bitcoin because I'll be confident that it's going up to approximately the 80. And the reason why I say 80, the end of the 2017 bull run peaked out at just below 20K. Okay. And if you recall this bull run, when we got to 40, that was a 2x of the previous high. We hit massive resistance. You remember that? Okay. Now we're hitting the 60 zone. That's 3x. That almost seems every X, every 100%, we go above the 2017 all-time high. We have this like psychological block. So if we do break the 60, I think we'll have a very quick surge to the 80 and then hit another mental block. If we pass that, or we obviously don't know, but I believe if we break the 60 zone, I wouldn't be surprised if within 10 days, maybe even less, we shoot up approximately to the 80K zone, purely based upon it's a psychological resistance. People just feel like they want to sell when they've made 4x, 5x, 6x. They want to sell their profits back into some other coin or potentially back into dollars.
Yeah, because usually at that W formation, when it creates a W formation and it breaks through and you get that slight retest and confirmation, that usually goes up quite nicely there. I think they call it the pirate sword, some guys.
Are you talking about the double top here, the W top?
Yeah, the W after and at the end there where it just breaks through and it slightly retest and confirms. And if it turns upward, then what they call the pirate sword, I think, then it usually goes up quite a nice shoot after that.
100%. Yes, it usually attempts, and then when it does break through and come back and retest and does find support, and then the push up is usually quick. 100%.
Yes, yeah.
100%. Because you got to remember, guys, most of the, how can I put this? Most of the smart money, okay, the people who actually make money in financial markets, they're not jumping into the market as it breaks the 60 zone or breaks the resistance. They want confirmation that the price is not just going to go up, come back down and just fall through. They want to make sure that it comes down, it finds support, and then as it starts going up, all the smart money jumps in, which helps the price go up. And then the excuse my language, guys, the dummies jump in because they see Bitcoin's going up and they're buying literally at the top before it comes down. And that's how most people, unfortunately, lose money in any financial markets. Any questions here, guys, regarding Bitcoin? Anything to do with Bitcoin, please go ahead. Amara, anything from your side, buddy? Got to do with Bitcoin? Nothing. Okay, not a problem, guys. I just quickly okay, no stress, man, no stress. Just to go back to some of the coins that are pumping at the moment. Let me just go to the 3-day. We're going to zoom out quite excessively, guys. Just a quick one. Every single candlestick that you guys are looking at, so every single individual one represents 3 days in time. So, I mean, this takes us back. If you guys look at the bottom here, it takes us back to 2019. So we got a lot of info when we're looking at this particular coin, Tron, TRX. I've had my eyes on Tron for quite a while. I've been waiting for it to hit this bottom zone here. And just a quick one to show you what I was looking at. Let's just see. RSI. All right, guys. So just to show you, how did I know, okay, to jump in on this particular coin at the right time, or more or less the right time? Sorry? All right, someone on the phone. Let me just do this, guys. I'm just going to mute everybody. Cool. So just to quickly go back to Tron, and how did I know, okay, to buy right over there? Okay, so I've been watching this coin for a very, very long time. The price has been coming down. You can see I've got a white line here, which is called the trend line. The trend line, what it was doing, or is, still doing, every time the price comes and hits the white line, it gets rejected. Price comes down again, comes up, hits the white line, gets rejected. When I say rejected, meaning it could not break through and continue above the white line, it got rejected and it came down. So at this point here, if we were to draw something like this, you can see that we were kind of going into a little pinch. Can you see how the price started getting squeezed into this little corner? Okay, so that was an indication for me that we're potentially ready, or Tron is ready to make a move, either down or up. Okay, so what I was waiting for, as we came down and hit this green line, okay, this is a support line. You can see we hit the green line, and for a couple of days we actually did not go any lower. You with me? We did not go any lower once we hit this green line. So that proved to me that, hang on a second, there's a lot of buyers at this particular zone. In other words, holding the price up. Okay. Next indicator I looked at is an RSI. Okay, this stands for Relative Strength Index. Okay, this measures market volume, meaning how much volume is going in and out of the market. Okay, just a quick breakdown in RSI. When the price is below the purple shaded area, in that instance, that means the coin is oversold, meaning too many people have sold it, and at some point the price is gonna reverse. All right. When the price is above the purple shaded area, all right, that means the price, the coin is overbought. Too many people have bought it. So you can see when this RSI, Relative Strength Index, peaked above this purple shaded area, look what the price did. We came up and then we immediately dropped. Okay, so my second indicator was that RSI is extremely oversold, meaning too many people have sold this coin for too cheap than what it's actually worth. And at some point, the price is going to come up. So I was looking at the price coming into this little wedge. That was my first indicator. Second indicator was you can see how the price hovered along this green line. That was my second indicator, okay, that the price has found some sort of support. Third indicator, okay, I looked at RSI, that it was oversold. Fourth indicator, guys, if you look at these little bars, can you guys see these red and green bars at the bottom of the screen? That indicates buying volume. All right. So you can see when we hit this green line, all of a sudden we had much bigger green bars. Can you see all these previous bars are much small. They're not really significant. And all of a sudden we got big green bars, big green bars, big green bars. That to me was smart money putting big money into this coin. They were buying up because they also recognized that there's an opportunity waiting around the corner. So I bought in, okay, around about the 80 Satoshi mark. Okay, guys, if you look to the right-hand side, can you see over there, we got 80, 90, 91, 92, just on the right-hand side of my cursor. So I bought in round about there because I saw this was a good opportunity to potentially buy in this coin. Remember, guys, this is not guaranteed that the price was going to go up, okay? The price could have still fell down, but because we had several indications telling us or indicating to us that the price is potentially going to go up, I took a chance and purchased quite a bit of this coin. And currently, if we look at a percentage, we're up about 72%, okay? But the guys who bought over here, like, so I bought around about there, okay? I've made about 7 or 8 times my money, and it's still going up. Remember, I'm expecting this price to still go up and touch this white line, just like it did previously. I'm expecting the same. So I still haven't sold most of my position. I've sold some, but not all. And the reason why I say I've made 7 or 8 times my money is because even though it's only gone up 60 to 70%, okay, when I bought, all right, Bitcoin was a lot cheaper. Because the price of Bitcoin has gone up, okay, my Rand value has gone up and the coin itself has gone up 70%. So this was a very nice investment. And I just wanted to show you guys how one would identify potential opportunities to jump in and make these type of gains. So if I just zoom into the 4 hour, all right, so each candlestick at this point represents 4 hours in time. So we've kind of zoomed in a lot. This is what this coin has done the past couple of weeks or days. You can see today we've had a very, very nice run up. Okay, and this is where most of the people make the biggest mistake, especially newbies or people who don't know what they're doing. As soon as they see a coin start going up, okay, and it's already gone up 20, 30, 40, 50%, they only start buying in over there. Right? They're not educated enough to understand that the market has already pushed up. Okay, markets work in zigzags. So it will go up, it will come down, it will go slightly higher, it will come down, it will go slightly higher. All right. So markets don't just do this, guys. They don't just go all the way up, okay, or all the way down. That's no financial market works like that. Markets will always move up. They'll come down slightly. They'll move up. They'll come down slightly. They'll move up. As long as the price is going higher, every time it moves up again, that's a very good sign. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, please, if you see a coin, especially on the 4-hour and the 6-hour or higher time frames, that has pushed up significantly, the train has already left the station, guys. Don't chase it. Don't buy in. Don't be the idiot who buys in at the top, okay? And then you wake up the next morning and the price is back down there, okay? And assuming you put 10 or 100,000 Rand in this coin and you wake up tomorrow and you're down 18%. And because you don't know what you're doing, you panic, all right? And you sell, all right, for a loss of 18,000 Rand. And then guess what? The next 2 days, the price does that. And you're like, shit, what do? You buy again. And this is what most people do. This is why 95% of people in any financial market lose money. Only 5%, guys, make money. The rest, 95%, the majority lose money because they're not educated enough when to jump in and out of particular coins, and especially what coins. And that's why I will obviously encourage you guys to please do the DTA course. We've really reduced the price to close to nothing as if you want to compare it to what you guys are actually getting. It will really open up your eyes dramatically. And trust me, 980 bucks when you start trading with 50, 60, 100, a million Rand is nothing. I mean, for the amount of knowledge you'll gain, it's a no-brainer. All right, guys, so I just wanted to go through Tron. Also, this is another coin that I have bought in quite a while ago. It's also doing very well. And I just want to point out to the guys why this coin has popped. If you guys look at the shape over here, can you see how these two purple pink lines are squeezing into each other? This is called a descending wedge, guys. When you see a descending wedge, all right, it is a bullish indicator, meaning the price is more than likely going to pop to the upside. And that's exactly what it's done. And I think this coin has still a bit more gas in it before it starts to die down. All right, guys, enough on the technical analysis. Any questions before I move on to a bit of a scalping strategy for the guys who've already done the course? Any questions, please, guys? Archie, Amara, Sergio, Joe, Mandy, Ridwan, whatever, anything got to do with crypto. Shoot, let's hear. I'm sure you guys have got questions.
Adnan?
Yes, Mandy.
Did you cover the EMA ribbons with us? And if not, is it not an indicator you use?
Okay, so there is EMA. There is EMA. A lot of people do use it. Let's see if we can find something here.
What indicators do you generally use for your analysis? Which ones?
Okay, so predominantly, when it comes to technical analysis, I'm a very old school trader. I don't use many indicators. However, there are a few that I will touch base with regards to just confirming what I'm looking at. Okay, so first I do Bollinger Bands. Okay, so I'll use Bollinger Bands, and you're going to see they're going to pop up on the, yeah, there we go. So there's Bollinger Bands. So what they pretty much do, they kind of wrap around the price. And usually when the price goes above the top of the band, can you see the price comes back down? When the price usually gets to the bottom of the band, the price usually goes up. All right, so this is a very cool technical indicator. However, guys, you cannot just use one indicator. Please just understand that you will burn your fingers. I use these just to confirm what I'm looking at. So if I'm looking at it technically and it's giving me all the signs that it's going to go up, and I just want a bit more confirmation, okay, Then I will add perhaps a Bollinger Bands, or I will add, there's another one that I like to use, MACD. MACD, so pretty much this is an oscillator with a volume indicator. What it does, it measures volume, buying volume and selling volume, as well as moving averages at the same time. That's also a very nice indicator that I utilize. And
what's those moving averages set at?
Sorry?
What, on the MACD, what's your moving average length set?
It's look, I don't change anything.
Okay.
Standard trading view will give it to you as it is. But if you do want it, there you go. I haven't changed anything. All the indicators that I use, I leave the settings at default. All right, and another one that I do, which is relative strength index, which I did already cover briefly. So that's pretty much are the three I would use. Let me go back and find an EMA of some sort. And
the Fibonacci retracement, do you?
Yes, of course. Yes, 100%. Thanks for reminding me there, Archie. Yes, I definitely do use Fibonacci. You can only use Fibonacci when a market has retraced. So I'm just trying to find.
Do you only use the retracement, or do you use the spiral or the other ones as well?
No, only retracement.
Okay.
I like to keep trading simple. I'm not saying all the other indicators don't work. I'm sure they do, but I like to keep it simple, and I try not to overcomplicate my trading strategy. So, for instance, Fibonacci, where's Fibonacci? Fibonacci retracement. If I were to use it, let's have a little squiz here. Let's see where we can use it. Okay, so presumably over there. If I click it at the beginning of the push and I drag it to the top of the push, all right, let me just zoom in there so everyone can see. This is a cool tool. It calculates the retracement. So once the price has pushed up, okay, significantly, and you can clearly see that the price is coming back, meaning retracing, you can therefore utilize the Fibonacci, and it normally gives you certain predictive levels where the price will potentially find support. So in this particular case, the price went up, it came back down to the 23, it came back down past the 38.2, it came back down to the 50. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just move that across. Came back down to the 50. It broke the 50. It fell to the 61.8, which is this gray line. It even fell almost to the 78.6, but therefore quickly came back up. Okay, so what I like about this tool, it gives you predictive levels of where the price might find some sort of support before continuing in its initial direction. Amara, do you trade on isolated margin on Binance or other altcoins? All right, that's a very good question, Amara. So on Binance, I only spot trade. So when I say spot trade, meaning I use my money and my money only. So if I got 10,000 Rand and I want to buy a particular coin, I can only buy 10,000 Rand worth of that, whatever the coin is. However, I do leverage trade, okay, on Bybit. If you guys would like to leverage trade, or if you guys don't have a Binance account, please go through to the Digital Trend Analysis website, and under platforms, and you guys can register through there. I leverage trade on Bybit. Okay, so leverage trading means if I put 100,000 Rand down of my money, and then I lend 900,000 Rand from the platform. Okay, so if I combine my 100 with the 900,000, I use that million Rand now to enter a trade. Okay, if the trade goes in my favor and I sell, all right, say I use 1 million Rand and then I sell my position for 1.2 million. Okay, I give back the 900,000 Rand to the exchange, and then the balance is my profit. The 300,000 Rand is my profit. Okay, that's called leverage trading, guys. please just be aware. If you don't know what you're doing, it's very risky. I do teach how to leverage trade. However, I first advise you guys to familiarize yourself with spot trading, perhaps become consistently profitable with spot trading, meaning using your own money before you even think of using other people's money to make money.
Just one question. Is there any specific reason why you doing leverage on Bybit when you can do that as well on Binance? Is there a specific reason, or is it just a personal choice?
Yes. Well, when it comes to usability and functionality, especially moving orders, moving stop losses, moving take profits, I feel that Bybit is a lot easier to just click and drag my order, as opposed to Binance. I have to physically keep on typing it in. And also there's a lot more liquidity, I feel, most of the time on Bybit as opposed to Binance. And also what I like to do is I like to keep my spot trading completely separate from my leverage trading account, because I don't want to get tempted using a different funding from the same account. Sorry.
Okay.
I just keep it completely separate from each other. Any other questions there, guys? There's another one that's currently pumping. I don't know if you guys can see my screen, which is Verge. I love this coin because it's made me a lot of money. I feel it's very easy to predict what the next move is going to be, especially on the higher time frame. And the Pornhub actually adopted their technology as a payment system, just for a bit of information behind Verge. A lot of people don't like that, but I'm a trader. I don't care what the company does. I just look at the chart and find opportunity and take full advantage of it. Any questions, guys, or can I move on to scalp trading? I know this might lose a few of you, but Amara has asked me very nicely to please go over some scalp trading, some strategies, and I'll do that. So if no one has any more questions, I'll move on.
All good, man.
All good. Alrighty. So let's do this. We go to the BTC chart, and let's go down to the 10 minutes. This is where shit gets a bit dicey. Okay. You can even go down to the 7 minute. I use 10, 7, and 5. I am always going up to 15, 24, 30, 45 an hour, just to kind of confirm what I'm seeing on the smaller time frames, if that makes sense. So Amaro, so let's just let's have a quick look here, if we can find anything juicy. I'm just going to draw in a trend line. You can see every time the price hits that trend line, it finds support. All right, but there's something I'm looking at here that's a little bit concerning. If we look at market structure, we've got high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Technically a low. That could potentially be a lower high. So we might have some sort of a reverse here, Mara. So I'm just going to predict or try to predict what's going to happen. So assuming the price comes down, it breaks the trend line, okay? And we have some sort of a support line there. If we look left, yes, we could call that some sort of a support. We had support there, we had resistance there, we had support there. All right, so the price comes down, it touches there, it pushes up, it gets rejected. All right, and starts coming down, breaks this support line. All right, remember, this is going to happen fairly quick because we're on very small time frames. Price is going to come back okay, and potentially start rejecting. At this point here, assuming you want to short the market, all right, or sell the market, we're going to take our short position. Assuming we enter, whatever, say we enter approximately over there, all right, our entry point is that little line between the green and the red. Our stop loss, okay, because scalp trading, you got to be savvy, you got to be shrewd. You can't muck about, you can't walk away from the screen for an hour or two. You got to be there, you got to be making decisions, you got to be securing profits as they come. So if you have your stop loss approximately, obviously above this resistance line, okay, and your next take profit, let's just look approximately, we can call that, oh, come on, man. Approximately there. Resistance, resistance, support. Can you guys see that? It got rejected there, rejected there, rejected there, supported, supported there. So if the price were to fall, we will more than likely, all right, find some sort of support at that green line. Okay, so we entered over there, we got our stop loss above there. So we enter, the price starts to do this and starts to work its way down. Okay, comes up, it gives us a lower low and a lower high. Amara, can you see that? Please just confirm that you with me at this moment. Fantastic.
You phone me on a normal. Yeah.
So it gave us a lower low, a lower high. Okay, and then continues down. Right? It continues down. What you're going to do at this point, because you're scalp trading, guys, you have to be very savvy. Your take profit is currently there. You immediately going to bring down your stop loss just above that lower high, because at that point there, that lower high is representing selling pressure. Okay, so if the price were to come back, we might hit selling pressure there again and still come down. So you've given yourself that tiny buffer. If it does come back up, you might not get stopped out, but you are securing this profit. So price comes down, gives us another lower low, lower high, and starts to come down. All right. You don't leave your stop loss up there. You immediately bring the stop loss just above the next lower high. Okay. So at this moment, it's a risk-free trade, guys. I mean,
Adnan?
Yes, Mandy.
But didn't you say that, like, about the dangers of a trailing stop loss or whatever it was?
100%, 100%. That's on more longer term trading. So
okay.
for our daily, the reason why I'm just saying you have to be very savvy when it comes to the smaller time frame, because the movements are so quick. You can get a movement like that literally in a minute. So you don't want to be very nice in profit, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, and then hits your stop loss. You're like, oh my word, I was already in whatever 15-20% profit, and all of a sudden now it's hit my zero.
Okay, so with scalp trading, the rule changes just a little bit, and you can play around with your stop loss.
100%, 100%. So as the market gives you lower highs, or as it starts moving more and more into the green, you can start bringing your stop loss maybe to your entry point. So then if you bring your stop loss to your entry point, it's a risk-free trade. And if it goes lower, you can bring it into the green. And if the price goes lower, bring it into the green, and just continue moving your stop loss until at some point it's going to reverse and hit your stop loss. But when it hits your stop loss, you are thick in the green. You've made some good money. So, and the reason why I move my stop loss, I've tried so many different strategies when it comes to scalp trading, and at the beginning, I stuck with not moving my stop loss, and the movements were just so bloody quick that 95% of the time, at some point in all of my losing trades, I was in profit, and then all of a sudden it reverses, bam, and hits my stop loss. So I've learned when I scalp trade, I'm always securing profits as I go along. Sometimes you might bring your stop loss to there. Okay, let me just move that back quickly. And the price might do this. The price might, and assuming you don't ever take profit, the price might do this. Bam, And then it's even better for you because all you do is bring your stop loss down there. Now you're making so much more than you actually anticipated. And obviously at some point it will, it will come back and knock your stop loss, but it's going to knock you out in so much profit. Does that make sense, guys?
I'd
Yes.
just got a question from my side.
Of course.
With scalp trading, obviously you're not aiming for, you know, huge percentage gains. Would you recommend that if you're particularly looking into scalp trading, that I know it's quite risky, but you'd rather look at leveraging your trades, or do you ever spot trade when you're scalping?
No, okay. So I don't. I leverage trade when I scalp, because when I scalp trade, I tend to use higher leverage, and so let's go down to the 5 minutes. All right, let's just get rid of that. When you're scalp trading, guys, if you can't be aiming for. You can't be aiming for, what is it, 5 or 4% when you're scalp trading, guys. Scalp trading is in and out. I mean, if you manage to execute a trade with 0.8, 0.84% with a 10x leverage, that's fantastic. That when you leverage trade, you times your gain or your loss by the amount of leverage you've used. So if this is the trade and you enter and it goes up and eventually hits your take profit, and you used a 10x leverage, you're not making 0.84%, guys. You're making 8.4%. All right. However, it also multiplies your risk. So if the trade does not go in your favor, you are not losing 0.4%, you are losing 4% of what you put down on the table. However, because you're aiming for such little trades, there's multiple opportunities. So in other words, there was an opportunity there for a trade. There was an opportunity there for a trade. There's a current opportunity there for a trade. So instead of waiting for 2 days or 1 week for this awesome setup on a 4-hour or an hourly or a 2-hourly candle, in 1 day, you can potentially find 3, 4, 5 different scalping opportunities. But bear in mind, your percentages are much smaller. You're not aiming for 4 or 5 or 10% trades here. I mean, you're not aiming for the asset itself or the currency itself to move 10%. You're looking for a currency that's going to move anything from 0.5 to maybe 1.5%. And that's a fantastic scalp. You're going to be in and out of that trade, take your money, walk away. Don't linger and be greedy. Because like I always say, pigs get slaughtered. Yes, maybe.
How long does the average like scalp trading take? Like in and out, would you say it's in an hour?
Anything from, if the move is very quick, anything from about 20 minutes to 3 hours. But remember, when you scalp trade, you have to be behind the screen.
Yeah.
You can't enter scalp trading, I don't know, go clean the pool or something. You have to be there, because as it starts moving into profits, okay, your stop loss must be, you must start securing profits. I mean, the worst thing is you set up your trade, you go do something for an hour, and it went up to like 80% of where your take profit was supposed to be. And then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, it fell through your entry point and hit your stop loss. I mean, you were in profit, but just purely because you weren't behind the screen, you missed out. So don't scalp trade and walk away from the screen. You have to be behind the screen. And this is assuming you've got a lot of time. You don't have a day job. Okay. If you, I actually forgot to mention this, guys. I know a lot of you guys are still working. If you're still working, you will start looking for opportunities on higher time frames. on the 4 hour, on the 6 hour, on the daily time frames, where you might only enter 2 or 3 trades a month. Okay, this requires a lot less time. It requires a lot less screen time, meaning sitting behind the screen, and you can still make decent profits at the end of the day. So that, I mean, just because you have a full-time job does not mean you can't become a trader or at least an investor in the crypto world. Amara, there's just one other thing I want to show you. Let me just see where I can find this indicator now. EMA, exponential moving average. Oh, we've got so much nonsense drawn on you now. Also, guys, this exponential moving average on the smaller time frame is very nice. You can see when the price is above this, can you guys see this thin blue line? When the price is above it, you can see every time the price comes down to the blue line, it kind of supports the price and pushes it up. Supports the price and pushes it up. Okay. However, when the price falls below, in this particular instance, you can see the price fall below the blue line. Now, every time the price came back up and touched the blue line from the bottom, it got rejected, got rejected, got rejected. So a nice thing I do also when I scalp trade, okay, if I see the price has broken through the blue line and has come back to retest the blue line or the moving average and pushes off, okay, that is also a very good indicator that I would enter. So just going back to where we were, let's see what's happening at this current moment. Okay, so at this current moment, you can see we were slightly below the blue line for some time. We broke through the blue line. We came back to retest it, and we've pushed off the blue line. Okay, so that is a very good sign on the short term or the shorter time frame that we might have another push, potentially at least to previous structure, or we maybe will even retest that 60K zone. It honestly, it looks like it might go back to retest that 60K zone. Any questions, Amara? I am going to be doing a separate video on this. Probably about a 10-minute video where I'm going to find opportunities and potentially paper trade this so you can see exactly how I'm jumping in and out of trades. But that I'll obviously share on the Discord group and on the DTA training website. Any questions, guys? Anything from your side? Hold on a second. There's how are the fees when scalp trading on Leverage on Bybit or other platforms? Give us a small example of your experience. Okay, so the fees are okay. So when on any exchange, when entering and exiting any position, there's two ways to do it. There's something called a limit order. Okay, a limit order is when you tell the exchange, for instance, you programming the exchange and saying, listen here, when only and if only the price, when the price gets to $50,000, you are going to buy me X amount of Bitcoin. All right. So you telling the exchange only when that price comes. Okay, that's only when you're going to execute the trade. The second method is a market entry. All right. Market entry is you entering at the current price, irrespective of what the price is doing. You just want to quickly jump into this coin. You can't wait for it to come back down to a particular spot where you feel comfortable to enter the trade. A market entry or a market trade, you enter immediately at whatever the current price is. Okay, obviously entering at a market, entering at market is more convenient because it immediately executes your order. However, you pay for that convenience. If you limit order, if you use the limit function, you pay probably 20 or 25% of what you would have paid on a market order. So it's exactly the same, all right, on spot or leveraged, okay? The only difference is, guys, on a leveraged exchange, if you use 10x leverage, it's going to 10x your market fees, your entry fees, sorry. If you use 50x leverage, okay, it's going to 50x your fees, all right, your entry fees. So there is a difference on leverage. It is more expensive. That's why 99% of my trading on any leveraged exchange is done on a limit order. Yes, there is certain times where I have to market exit or I have to market entry, but it's extremely rare because I don't want to pay. I mean, if you're trading with a large sum of money, at the end of the month, you could have paid like 50, 70,000 Rand in fees if you scalp trading. So you don't want to pay so much fees all the time. So if you limit order, you potentially can bring that down to maybe 15,000 Rand in fees as opposed to 70 or potentially even 100, depending on what leverage you're using. I hope that answers your question. Who's this, Samara?
I just want to add to that, or
Yes.
rather, can I get your opinion on this? Would you recommend that you scalp on futures instead, because they don't charge fees as regularly as you do on perpetual contracts?
Okay, so there's a reason why I don't do that. And on perpetual contracts, I know this is probably going to confuse so many people, but on perpetual contracts, there is so much more liquidity. Okay, on futures, yes, there's only one fee to enter the market and exit the market, irrespective of how long you're in the trade. Okay, however, the liquidity is lower. On perpetual contracts, there's so much more liquidity. So if you're trading with a large amount of money, orders get filled extremely quickly as opposed to waiting, some time for smaller guys to pick at your order, if you understand what I mean. And also on the futures contracts, the entry fee is sometimes a lot higher because it's assuming you're going to hold this trade for a long time. So meaning you're going to make more than enough profits to kind of cover your fees, where if you're scalping, it might eat half of your trade profit just by the entry fees on a futures contract. Does that make sense?
So you use perpetual for scalp. Is that what you're saying?
I use perpetual for scalping, 100%. And also the next disadvantage of perpetual contracts is there's a funding rate. So every 8 hours, they'll charge you a specific fee. Okay, and that is all depending on what the majority of the market. So if everybody if everybody is longing the market, okay, and there's only a handful of people shorting the market, all right, the people who are shorting, because they're in the minority, they don't pay the fee. In fact, they get paid that 8-hour funding fee. So if you're with the movement, they charge you. If you're on the opposite side, you actually get paid a funding fee. I know it might sound a bit confusing, guys, but I just wanted to answer your question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Have a look at?
Sorry, Ridwan. Before I forget, when you limit, I spoke about limit orders and market orders previously. If you limit order, you actually get paid a rebate. Okay, because you're adding liquidity to the books. You're adding volume to the buy order or the sell order books. If you market, you pay that massive fee. I forgot to mention that. I apologize. Sorry, Ridwan, your next question was?
Look, this one may be a little bit tough to answer because it's from the exchanges side. But when they're doing this, taking the funding rate into consideration, are they looking at the amount of orders that's on the exchange, or are they looking at the order book itself? Would you know? I know it's, like I said, it's a bit of a tough one to answer. So if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
No, I don't have an answer, unfortunately. But the way I know is usually on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see there's a funding rate. So say it's 0.0 whatever 2, okay, or 0.1, and there'll be a countdown. So there'll be a timer ticking down from 8 hours. And if the 0.1% is in green, that means you getting paid that funding fee. If it's in red, that means you're gonna be paying the opposite longs or shorts. So it does change from time to time, but as that timer ends, depending on what color that percentage is, you'll either get paid or you're going to be paying the fee.
Oh, sweet, man.
Cool, guys. I see it's the yes, Mandy.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Sorry. When you sculpt trading, obviously time is of the essence and you're under pressure. You can't do as much technical analysis maybe as you normally would.
Yes.
So are there indicators you prefer and use when you sculpt trading, and then others that you leave out?
Look, I do like using even something called the VWAP. I will do a video on this, Mandy, because you'll have access to the website, same as Amaro, and I'll give a full detailed video. Let me just quickly see here. VWAP, you see VWAP. That also helps very nicely when scalp trading. I obviously don't use these settings. I use different settings, which I will obviously show you guys in the scalping tutorial, which I'll more than likely post tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
And then, yeah, look, I scalp trade most of the time. I put it this way. I've got two different accounts. I've got a long-term account where I leverage trade long-term, and I've got my scalping account. So when I'm waiting for longs or waiting for long opportunities or shorting opportunities on the higher time periods, I scalp on the smaller time periods because it just keeps me busy. It's a source of income, and it's just the more wins you get, the better your morale is. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it quits over here. I don't want to keep anyone too much longer. I hope that was informative, and everyone at least can take away something from this. And I am going to have another call, obviously, for our DTA members next week, Wednesday. So please, all the members jump on. Until then, have a lacquer weekend, and cheers, guys.
100.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, enjoy the evening.
Thanks, Adnan.
Pleasure.
Thanks, cheers, bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye.